All right, buckle up, because this deep dive is taking us right into the science of soccer.
Soccer science. I like where this is going.
You and me both. We're talking about those crazy powerful kicks, the kind that send the ball flying. And get this, how a player's build, like how they're put together, actually changes things.
You're right. It's not just about fancy footwork, is it? We're getting into anthropometry.
Anthropo what now?
It's a mouthful, I know.
Mm.
Basically, how our body measurements affect what we can do, in this case. How leg length, even body fat, can change the power behind a soccer kick.
Okay, now you've got my attention. So where did you even find research on this?
This study was pretty cool. They looked at 17 young guys, all soccer players under 20. And these weren't just any players. They were from the Barina State team in Venezuela. Serious athletes. Oh, and they specifically didn't use goalies.
Makes sense. Goalies aren't exactly known for their power kicks.
Exactly. They were all about those powerhouse kicks.
So picture this. They've got these young athletes all lined up, but I doubt they just let them loose on the field, right? What were they actually measuring?
They got super specific, measured everything. Height, weight, obviously. But then it got interesting thigh circumference, how thick the fat was on their thighs, even the length of certain bones. They wanted the whole picture, you know, how their bodies were proportioned.
Okay, now that is dedication. I see why you call this a deep dive. So it's way more than just how much they weigh, right? They were tying all this to how powerful their kicks were.
Exactly.
So they must have measured the speed of their kicks, too.
You bet. And they didn't just use a stopwatch. This is high-tech stuff. They used a Doppler radar, like they used to clock baseball pitches. Crazy accurate.
All right, so we're talking hard data here. No arguing with those numbers. So drumroll, please. What'd they find? Is there actually a link between how these guys were built and how powerful their kicks were?
Two big things. And honestly, it might change how you see soccer, maybe even your own body a little.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
First, longer legs, especially from hip to ankle, meant faster kicks.
Okay, that one's kind of obvious. Like longer leg, more power, right?
Yeah, think of it like a longer lever. But there's a twist. It wasn't just about being tall overall. It was about having long legs for your height.
So two guys could be the same height, but the one with proportionally longer legs had the advantage.
Right.
That's wild. Okay, you said two big findings. What's the second one?
This is the one that really threw me. The less fat these guys had on their thighs, the faster their kicks.
Really? You'd think in a power sport like soccer, a little extra weight wouldn't hurt.
You'd think so, right? But even a little extra fat seemed to slow them down. Yeah, it really shows how much even small differences in our build can change things. Like we usually think of strong legs for power, but this study's saying even how much fat is there matters too.
I know, right? It's crazy to think a bit of padding could change things that much, especially in a power sport like soccer. Makes you wonder what we're missing when we only focus on training and all that. So you're not saying we can just wish for longer legs and become amazing players, are you?
Well, it's not quite that simple. I mean, this study is super interesting. It shows our bodies have so much potential, but it's not like everything's already decided for us.
Right, there's got to be more to it. What about like how strong their muscles are or how long they've been practicing their kicks? That's got to count for something, right?
Absolutely. The study even mentions that muscle strength, technique, all that plays a huge role in how fast you can kick. This research just focused on their measurements, you know, the anthropometry stuff.
So it's both what you're born with and what you do with it. See, this is what I love, because now I'm thinking, what does this mean for us regular people?
Yeah.
Should we all be hitting the gym, wishing for longer legs?
That's funny. But honestly, this is bigger than just soccer. It's about how we're built to move, you know?
Okay, now you've got to explain that.
Think about it. We said longer legs are like longer levers,
Yeah.
right? That's not just for kicking a ball. That helps with running, jumping, all sorts of things.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the fat thing, that just shows that it's not just about being strong. It's about your whole body working efficiently, whether you're an athlete or just going about your day.
Hold on, are you saying that even in everyday life, how much fat we have can change how well we move?
Exactly. Even simple things, walking, going upstairs, carrying groceries.
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
It all uses the same ideas, those levers and efficiency we talked about, even getting up from a chair.
My mind is blown. Okay, I am never going to look at my legs or soccer the same way again. This deep dive is really eye-opening. But before we move on, one more thing about the study itself. You said these guys were all from that Barinas team, right? Did the researchers, like, compare them to players from other places?
Good point. They actually did. They compared their data to other studies, other South American soccer players.
Cool. And what did they find?
Here's the thing. The Barinas players were actually smaller. On average, their measurements were statistically smaller than elite players from other areas.
Wait, really? You'd think at that level they'd all be built pretty similarly, right?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But it's a good reminder that there's no one way to be an athlete.
Hmm.
These guys were smaller, but they were still top-tier players.
So it really is about more than just how you're built. Skill, all that stuff matters too.
100%. It's so complex. Who knows, maybe certain body types are actually better for different positions, different playing styles.
There you go, something to think about. Well, we started with how your body affects your soccer kicks.
And I think it's safe to say we uncovered way more than just soccer trivia today.
For sure. We got deep into how our bodies are literally designed to move and how even little differences can change how we do it.
Yeah, like the whole longer legs, longer levers thing. It's amazing.
Right. Makes you think, what other connections are out there? Not just in sports, in life, too.
That's the best part, right?
Yeah.
There's always more to learn.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for taking this deep dive with me. This was fascinating.
It's always a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you on the next one.